Hello again. This is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today, and I've got two things. We're going to do a compare and contrast here. So the breaking news is that Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox has been caught apparently lying to everybody. Now, we showed a video about this some months ago in the after the Karen Read hearing, or during the Karen Read hearing. Commissioner Cox says that he has no knowledge of Officer Dever or Dever, depending on how you pronounce it. And Miss Dever, or former Officer Dever now, testified under oath at the trial that she had a meeting with Commissioner Cox in which he urged her to tell the truth, which is, what there's urging people to tell the truth, and then there's urging people to tell the truth. And one is proper and the other one is intimidation of a witness or subverting perjury. It all depends on how you do it, I guess. But based on her description of the meeting, it was pretty clear that, to me anyways, that there was pressure put on this person, former Officer Dever. Now, Michael Cox was interviewed and said he didn't know anything about it. We showed that video. I really encourage you to watch it. He said he has no idea that she was connected to the case. Well, thank goodness and this is not, no mainstream journalist is doing this out here. These are just regular people making regular old public records requests. Go make a public records request today for his calendar and the emails between Mr. Cox and the FBI. And there's an email, sure enough, between the FBI saying that we're sending materials in the Karen Read case to the DA. And by the way, we just interviewed Officer Dever. And then what does he do? 72 hours later, the Commissioner Cox schedules a personal one-on-one meeting. And you can go to so many channels where police officers will tell you, Duty Ron, for example, will be glad to tell you that, frontline officers, retail officers do not get to talk to the chief of police. Certainly no commissioner in a huge metropolitan city like Boston or New York. It just doesn't happen. And so this meeting is extraordinary on so many levels, as everybody knew it was. And that it's the implication, the totality of that circumstance was clearly designed to, and this is to alter testimony, to influence testimony in a criminal trial where the victim is also a Boston police officer. How important is that? I mean, it's just not just lying about anything. He's lying about the murder of one of his subordinate employees and attempts to cover it up. That's what that is. And, we caught attention, deliberate indifference, Wisconsin, to this case because of Karen Read, no doubt, but also because the commissioner, the superintendent of Milwaukee Public Schools, is also from that Boston environment. Was appointed by the self-same person that appointed this Mr. Cox. I mean, he's just an absolute liar. I mean, absolutely. How is he allowed to be? I mean, this is what frustrates so many people, is the man is still out there with impunity, being paid, using government resources and being paid by taxpayers. And people that he's adversely affected are just made to cram it. And boy, do we know that story here on Deliberate Indifference, Wisconsin. For example, we are talking about Larissa Benitez Morgan, the so-called hot mic judge, who was recorded time and time again lying to parties just about completely minor and innocuous things, saying things that she knew were not true. She recorded herself speaking with Matt White about attempts by the secretary's office to keep the parties who had subpoenaed the Secretary of the Department of Workforce Development to keep them separated from that person. In other words, to shield the Secretary from the subpoenas. And Matt White, who's an attorney, and Larissa Benitez Morgan, who's also an attorney, discuss on video what? That they're going to tell the parties that it's just construction. Well, it's the same thing. There's no consequences for the people in power at all. I mean, we've brought this to the attention of the governor. We brought this attention to their boss, to their boss's boss, the secretary, Department of Administration. I'm trying to think of who haven't we brought this to the attention of. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of complaints. I make legal complaints. I don't make other complaints, generally speaking, but I'm sure there's plenty of other complaints that could have been filed here. But to my understanding, the state of Wisconsin has taken no action of any kind against Larissa Benitez Morgan and Matt White. And it's not the same to go just to lie to some parties about a Wisconsin Fair Employment Act case as it is to lie about the death of a police officer. No doubt. This is the contrasting part of this discourse. But a lie is a lie. Well, an A is also A. But the point is, lies by government officials to people, no matter if they're about the weather or the murder of a police officer, undermines both our democracy and makes it it's situations like this that make it very clear that any notion of having a democracy where people are able to influence, just say influence, the bureaucracy is a fiction. And that's where we're back on compare. So it is true to say that when Michael Cox lies to the public about criminal cases, that hurts democracy. And it's also true to say that when the Department of Workforce Development, Maria Selsor or Larissa Benitez Morgan lie to the public about the government, that also hurts democracy. So we've compared, we've contrasted, we've done what we set out to do. We can safely say QED. And thanks for sticking with us. We'll keep you informed.